Hello, everybody. My name is Nancy Guadalupe Guerrero de Luna. I'm a student of the Licenciatura en Lenguas Extranjeras at the Universidad Autónoma de Zacatecas. And for my art, history, and appreciation class, I'm going to talk about the Modernism art style focused in the iron architecture. Well, first, I'm going to give a little definition about what was the Modernism art. Modernism refers to a wide range of subjective matter such as music, religion, and architecture, and generally relates to the changing nature of society during this period of time. The main idea of modernism was to reject past traditions of artwork and to encompass the beginning of a new modern world in their art forms. Modernist artists represent a wide range of personal visions. Well, and now what about architectural modernism? This emerged after the Second World War. It was adopted by many influential architects and architectural educational authorities as it was gaining popularity. Architectural modernism continues as a dominant architectural style even nowadays. And into the architectural modernism, we have the iron architecture, which refers to the construction based on iron or structured metal as fundament architectural, becoming one construction technique and style of the 19th century, originated for the availability of new materials thanks to the Industrial Revolution. As we can see in these examples, in the iron architecture, the main material of this work architecture are the iron. Well, and the beginning of iron architecture can be seen in the construction of bridges at the end of the 18th century, such as the Coldbrookdale Iron Bridge, famous during the Industrial Revolution. And it is here in the screen. This bridge was the first arch bridge made using cast iron. And another example of the first constructions of iron architecture is the Pont des Arts in Paris. However, despite the early incorporation of cast iron in these engineering structures, architects continued to use traditional material, most because they think that iron was not an innovator or modern material to make the architecture works. Then it was under the industrial architecture that iron was incorporated into the architecture, initially as a protective measure against fire, due to the fact that since the introduction of the steam machine, they were so common. Among the earliest examples of monumental architecture that incorporated the iron was the Dome of the Haut-Urblis in Paris. It was made by Francois-Joseph Bélanger in 1811. And as we can see in the picture, the main material of the old structure is the iron. Okay, there are different aspects in which the iron architecture was applied. For example, it started to use it in train station. In the picture one, we can see the Crown Street Railway Station in Liverpool, made in 1830. It was the first railway terminal built on its wrought iron structure. As well, it was widely used the casting for the implantation of urban furniture in the planned cities with hygiene criteria of the 19th century. As example, in the picture 2, we can see the Fernandina lamp post in Madrid. Nowadays, it's so common that the iron be used for that kind of architecture in the furniture, urban furniture. Iron was presented as a novel construction material at international fairs. In the picture 3, we can see the Crystal Palace in London 1851. That is an example of this. Technological improvements were happening and the corrugated galvanized iron (CGI) was created, invented in the 1820s by the British architect and engineer of the London Dock Company Henry Robertson Palmer. Its use spread in rural architecture in Europe and US. As example, an example of this is the library of Santa Genoveva that we can see in the picture 4, which reveals the metallic structure inside. And as you can see, it is completely made by iron. Iron buildings as the Iron House in the picture 5 from Graz, Austria in 1847 began to be built throughout Europe from the middle of the 19th century, although now not with great taste by most people, who always considered them horrors of the modern world. The last example is the railway engineering, which built bridge of great daring and beauty as the Maria Pia Bridge made in 1877 in Oporto, Portugal, and we can see it in the picture 6. The first engineer to have a hit inspected building a work that became the modern symbol of European cities was Gustav Eiffel, the author of the Eiffel Tower, which I'm sure that everybody of you know. The Eiffel Tower was built for the Universal Exposition of Paris in 1889. With its 305 meters of height, Eiffel Tower symbolized the pinnacle of Third Industrial Revolution, the era of hard industry and science, and the beginning of international modernism in the European building. As you can see in the picture, the Eiffel Tower is a huge monumental architecture work made completely by iron and the first and be recognized in all the world until nowadays. And finally, I'm going to give my personal point of view about the iron architecture. Okay, for me, iron architecture is an art style so impressive because with iron you can create wherever you want. I mean, at the moment of casting the iron, it can be molded to the shape that is desired, creating from a simple lamp post to a huge work architecture as the Eiffel Tower. As well, I think that it represented a big revolution for the architecture due to the fact that until this era, architecture works were made of stones, blocks, and traditional materials. And even when the iron is not a impressive material, the things that could be made with it are impressive, as well as the iron architecture was not accepted in the beginning. It became in a famous and innovative architecture style. And that's it. That's it. Thanks for your attention. See you later. Have a nice day. Thank you.